Welcome to the Max Bet Podcast, a podcast dedicated to everything gaming. I'm Landon Jones, here with Mike McKiskey. Let's get started.
What's funny?
I always laugh right when we go to do the intro and we both have zero clue what we're doing. You don't have to clap every time.
Oh, no?
I don't know why Zach does that.
Okay.
But I love it.
Here, I thought I was Hollywood.
It's like the little...
like the clapboard, like bang. All right, now we synchronize all forms.
You have the clap, man. That's all I got to say.
0% chance of that.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that. That's weird.
Oh, okay.
All right. Hey, guys.
Back on track. Hey,
welcome to the Max Bet Podcast. Whoop, whoop. I know that you love this T-shirt, so I wore it.
I do love that T-shirt. So I do like the Grateful Dead. I also like feeling like I'm going down some eternal gummy bear hole here, which is exciting. So
you know what the problem is this is whatever episode this ends up being. We've done like tons of these things, and I'm running out of stuff to wear. So
I just said, fuck it, I'm repeating. So I've worn this shirt on the show before, but I don't care.
I love we're just rolling into this one, dropping F-bombs and wearing Grateful Dead T-shirts. And
it's Thursday afternoon in Vegas, bro. We're just getting after it.
It is, rain.
For now, anyway.
Crazy. Today's a big day.
Well, humid. Yeah, exactly.
Whenever you guys listen to this podcast, today's the day that Resorts World's open.
Yeah, so for context, that's when we're recording this.
Yeah.
It'll probably come out about a week or two after, but yeah, man, we're excited to go check it out and see what they got. And full cashless. We just talked to the Sightline. Andrew
Correct.
over there, he walked us through it, kind of what to expect. And now
John Akers.
John Akers. I don't know if Akers is on the Sightline or is on Resorts World floor.
No, but we talked about cashless and player tracking.
Real-time
It's just kind of in that realm, right? Trying to educate the people, mostly myself, but
no doubt. I keep staring at your gummy bear spiral, thinking I should have done like acid or something. I've never done that before, by the way, so there's no reason to expect I would do it today. But I'm looking at it, going, I don't know. I feel like it'd be better if I was in like some.
All right. Well, we've
LSD
covered all
hitter.
bases on this intro. Welcome, everybody. What's going on?
Oh, man. You nailed it. We're already talking about it.
What's going on in your world, though?
I had a good Father's Day.
Okay.
That was exciting. So I'll tell you, I bought a drift scooter.
You don't have to tell me. I know. I saw the
video.
pictures.
Yeah, I said, anyone that wished me Happy Father's Day, I'm like, here's how my day is going. So it was water balloon fights. So when Dad's left in charge, we did water balloon fights.
I responded to that text as I want to throw a balloon at your face. Yeah, like, no response.
Thanks, jerk. Thanks for that. And then we did. I got the drift scooter. That was my gift. So for those that are unaware of what a drift scooter is,
I'll put it up. Right here.
Put the old picture in the side by side. But basically, it's like an adult big wheel. So if you remember the old big wheel cruising around the neighborhood, so there's no gears. You just have two pedals flying through. So the bigger you are, like me, the harder it is to pedal naturally. But then as you get cruising, you just turn the front wheel and then you drift just completely around, right? So you end up doing. I've done one where I've full circled. That was like my goal, is to try to see if I go fast enough to full circle. I did it, but anyway, you're 2 inches off the ground. Just
okay. So I have two things for this. One, when we were growing up, my friend's parents owned a daycare called Kids Campus. It's a huge campus. Okay. We used to go party there. It was hilarious.
How old are we? So when you say
we're
party,
in high
it's
school,
just like, okay.
Yeah. And he had the keys to Kids Campus. They had rock climbing walls and scooters and playgrounds. So we would literally go throw parties there because they would leave us alone.
So kids
right?
is a loosely defined thing. So this is obviously a big enough park.
No. The Kids Campus was for kids, like 5
to
1
10.
to 5
Yeah,
to whatever, right? But we would go in high schoolers at like 11 o'clock at night because nobody, when your parents,
do a little rock climbing.
Yeah, whatever we wanted. And they had the little kids scooters, like the actual proper and we'd have tricycle races, and I always won because I was the shortest and my knees wouldn't hit. Okay.
Ergonomically correct.
The second part of this story is when you sent me the picture, I was like, there's no way Mike can fit on this.
Oh, because I just sent
scooter.
you I had to build it. So I just
So I looked it up and I saw all these neighborhood dads that are buying these things and how cool it is.
For sure.
And videos of it. So I too have ordered myself a scooter.
Yes.
And coming soon to not a podcast near you.
Probably an Instagram.
Definitely
page,
a video. Yeah. Mike and I are going to go up to Anthem and race from Andrew Burke's house to Mike McKiskey's house, which there's a nice little downhill there.
That's a good mile, probably. Yeah, there's definitely the downhill.
Yeah.
So what we probably have to include is how many drifts do you do? Because if you just straight pedal the whole way, I got to believe you'll win just based on gravity, the law of physics. But we'll check it.
I'm glad we both have insurance. Is what I'm thinking.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it'd be hard to crash. Like I guess we'll put that to the test here, but. Yeah, it's definitely it'd definitely be fun times. But that's to your point, like about all these neighborhood dads. That's how it happened. So my buddy that lives right down the block from me pedals up on his because our kids are playing. I live in a cul-de-sac, and so I'm like, oh, cool. What is that? You just riding one of the girls? He's got daughters. I said, what are you riding one of the girls' toys? He goes, no, this is my big wheel. I go, what? And then he showed me how it works. I go, let me try it. And so I get on, and I'm like, oh, I got to order. So I look over at my wife, and I said, hey, it was like a month before Father's Day. I go, hey. Father's Day. She goes, mental note, done. So it was the easiest shopping she's ever had to do. And,
so the moral of the story, guys, is dads can have fun too.
It's the best excuse. Because I feel like if I just sent a group text to the boys and was like, yo, you want to water balloon fight? You guys are going to be like, what? Like, how old are we? But when I have 3 and 4-year-olds and I just load up 300 water balloons, it's like, yep, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. So for sure, dad's going to have fun.
Can you get a little basket on yours? And then the picture I saw of the dads, one of them had like the little, the little like.
The ribbon on the side.
On the side, they're pink ribbons. Get a basket, we'll put
playing
water
cards in the
balloons
spokes. Oh, man.
All right.
Well, I got to get Burke on it. And then one of our other neighbors is buying one now because he saw us doing it.
Burke, if you're listening.
Scooter game.
They're not expensive either. They're
$150 bucks, yeah. And it's made by Razor, so it's like solid steel. I'll tell you the weight limit's like 200 pounds on more than that. And it was, I have no issue. So if you're out there and you're thinking, man, I'm cool.
Until the race.
Put some cover. Yeah. Well,
on race day, there might be
I don't know if you're using it. Doesn't mean I can compete with you in a race, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah, they're a blast, man.
All right. Well, that was fun. So that's what's going on in your world.
That's what I'm doing. What are you doing?
It's fantastic. I don't even need to say anything after that intro.
Nothing tops that. Yeah, exactly.
I had an interesting experience on a plane yesterday. Should we talk about that one? I kind of told you.
Works for me. Yeah. Hit the people.
I don't know. Should we say it?
Now you have to say it. You just teased it.
Yeah, because I don't want to redo this intro because that was a great intro.
Right. Exactly. So Landon's a single guy, gets on a plane, sits by himself, minding his business, aisle seat Southwest, open seating for those who are familiar. And I'm going to set you up and then you can finish it up. So obviously, especially if you're a big guy like me, but I feel like anybody getting on a plane in an aisle seat is like, oh man, make the middle seat somebody that either A, doesn't exist, so it's just an empty middle seat, or B, ideally, you're looking for a very attractive member of the opposite sex, right? Or same sex, whatever you're into. Whoever you're attracted to.
People,
yeah, right, exactly. So you're looking for somebody that's like small or
we've all been
potentially attractive to you or whatever. And so Landon hits the jackpot. Coming down the row, beautiful lady. I've not even seen a photo of her. I just trust your storytelling. Beautiful lady with apparently someone tagging along. We don't know who he is. She sits next to you. He sits in the row up front.
He sits directly in front of her.
So now I'll just set the stage. You finish it from here. So now you're on the plane.
I'm listening to a book on tape.
Which you've now stopped because...
I'm listening to a book on tape and I kind of hear like a... And I'm like, what the... I take my headphones off and she's like, I am so sorry, but I have this cheeseburger and I got to eat it. And I feel bad because it's going to stink, but I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. The flight was delayed.
Because that's exactly what you expect a beautiful girl on the plane to pull out is the cheeseburger, exactly. Right? Yeah.
Well, luckily I had just finished my cheeseburger before I got on the plane. So I kind of joked with her. I was like, I already finished mine, so I got to just eat your thing. Long story short. She was in the gaming business. Like we had a ton in common. We're laughing. We're joking the whole time. Talked the entire time. Okay. About 45 minutes in the flight, she's like, let me get your number. And so we exchanged numbers. I'm like, this is kind of strange.
Yeah, because meanwhile, the guy she walks in is right in front of you. Yeah.
I whispered to her, and I was like, who's this guy? She's like, oh, we're kind of like, we were introduced by friends. I was like, Bumble? She's like, no, not a Bumble date.
Not those friends.
Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, this is strange because obviously we have a connection. This guy's listening. She goes, he's going to be pissed at me.
You think?
So,
yeah, exactly.
So am I a bad person for giving the number?
No, I don't. I mean, look, I don't know. She's not married, so it's not like it was his wife, right? And apparently they were going sideways. And so it's like, look, she asked you.
Yeah, and we've been texting, and apparently those two are done. He was upset.
So she knew what was coming. So she was setting up her next. But she's playing chess while he's playing checkers. That's what I've just decided.
I can tell you that I'm not going to be dating anybody that's getting numbers when you're on a trip date.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so you got so are you going on a date with her at some point here? You about texting like a madman, but are you actually going to go see her or what?
I don't know.
feel like you got to make the
let's
move.
let the people decide.
The people are on my team. Make the move and go. Let's do this. See, because then maybe you film the date. See how it
this
goes.
Is so good. I texted her when she texted me like, "Nice to meet you." Blah blah blah. I was like, weirdly that we got connected between your stinky cheeseburger
and your boyfriend, soon to be ex-boyfriend. Yeah, well.
All right, you know what?
Take her out for burgers. It's perfect.
Thank you guys for listening to that long, drawn-out story.
This is our life.
And welcome to the MaxMed podcast. Who do we have today?
We got Dean Ehrlich, Mr. Dean Ehrlich, Dino Mac.
Dean, I'm sorry that this is your intro to
he's gonna love
podcast.
I could tell you he's laughing in his car right now. So Dean serves as the executive vice president of the gaming side of Everi.
Cool.
So all the game stuff. And for those that don't know, the other side of Everi is Fintech, financial technology.
Yep. We'll get into that.
We'll probably ask him just briefly what that is, but I can't wait to ping him on some of the game stuff. So,
right,
and he's a big gambler himself, so he should have some good cred for us with the stories.
Let's bring him in.
Bring him in.
We are live.
What is up, my man? Dean, how are you, brother? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Welcome to the Max. A lot of people don't understand that when our guests come, they literally walk in the house, the studio, and then sit down and we start in the interview. So it's like
there may be 5 minutes in between of just setting up. Yeah, no, exactly. It's when you come ready.
You come prepared.
But he's an old pro. What people don't know is we actually did an interview over Zoom earlier in our existence, but internet speeds be what they were. They couldn't use the files, so we just saved it for up close and personal here live in the studio.
Too many people are moving to Vegas. There's just not enough speed to go around, you know?
Cox, yeah, no doubt. Well, thanks for coming back, giving us another run at it.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks, as always, for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so before we jump in on the gaming stuff, I've been looking at Landon's ridiculous Grateful Dead t-shirt for the last hour, so I'm curious. Do you have a favorite Grateful Dead song? It just makes me think, like, is there a song that comes to mind when you think of the Dead? Or
Yep, Terrapin Station.
Yeah, Terrapin Station. Ooh. That is a good one. What about you, buddy? You're wearing the shirt. You have a number one?
Go to Heaven.
Go to Heaven. Really?
Yeah.
It's an I don't know if I could.
It's one of their top 10 songs
of all time.
They have 200 plus songs.
I'm sure it's a huge catalog.
Go to Heaven's one of their top.
If I said Touch of Grey, I'd probably, if I were you, shut this thing off and kick me out of this series.
Is that the rules?
It's
like not a song that you're allowed to choose. Oh, man, I laughed. So there's a song they wrote called Monkey and the Engineer, which is just hilarious. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's pretty funny. Reminds me of you and me hanging out. So
just a monkey and an engineer. Who am I in that? The engineer
you're the monkey.
And you're the monkey?
Yeah.
Because you would be a gorilla, not a monkey.
Yeah, that's right. It's not the gorilla and the engineer. The gorilla in this case is the engineer. But oh, good, man. So, Dean, what's shaking, brother? What's happening lately? What are you up to?
It's nice to get back to a little bit of the old and tried and true, getting back on the road and
get on the plane again.
Yeah.
Had to dust the suit off.
Made sure it fits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you look good. You didn't have to let any out, huh? Your suit still fit. That was good.
Not too many adjustments. Thank goodness.
That's perfect.
It's a little worried there.
Yeah, what's the occasion?
So we have the Resorts World grand opening tonight.
Boom. Cashless Metropolis. So
I like it.
It's funny because by the time people listen to this, the Resorts World will be like 10 days strong. So hopefully it comes out and everything's hammering. But tonight is when we go check it out for the first time. So that's awesome. I'm assuming you guys got a good footprint over there.
Yeah, we did decent.
Yeah,
We're around, not sure exactly, but call it around 10%.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a big, it's like 100, 150 games, I feel like, based on what they're opening.
So for those of you that are listening and don't know who Dean is, Dean works for Everi. I'll let you explain kind of your job title and maybe a little bit of your background so we can have a little understanding of who Everi is.
Yeah, I'd love to know how you got into the biz. So what are you doing now? And then I guess rewind and hit, we'll Tarantino it. Tell them what's going on now and then flip it back.
So currently I'm the Executive Vice President and Games Business Leader for Everi Holdings, Inc.
Yeah.
What does that mean? So we have two distinct businesses. One is all things slot machines.
Right.
The other is all things fintech.
Right.
So I manage the slot machine side of the ledger.
Yeah, nice.
And explain fintech for those listening.
What does it mean?
Just the ancillary items that you expect to see on a casino floor, cash access, of all shapes, sizes, and forms, ATMs, check cashing, credit stuff. We also have AML software, loyalty kiosks. So they really
Nice.
do cover a good
Yeah.
gambit
like,
of.
not one item.
Yeah.
I was like, 20,
what don't they do?
It's a lot considering it's the
Financial
sister.
technology is a broad umbrella, Landon.
And it's the other side of the business
Right,
too.
right,
That
Yeah.
I hear enough about it on a day to day, but when cornered to remember exactly all the different offerings.
When we throw you on the show, it's like, shit, I got to remember.
It's like, oh my God, it's fintech. I got to answer something.
Someone's
about
going
it.
to call you and shake you down if you get it wrong. I laugh because the best trips to the casino are when we hit both divisions, because that means we're playing, Black Diamond, Crystal Star, winning some money, and then going to cash out the ticket. Like that's usually a good 1-2 punch there for us.
So I'm super curious, and we're kind of talking about the opening of Resorts World, and everybody's so hot on this new cashless kind of technology and adopting it in the States. What does that do to the ATM business and the ticket business? I mean, if you guys are in that business, do you think that still has some longevity, or kind of where do we go with that technology?
I think it's additive, in my opinion, because you're going to have certain player preferences that are willing to go completely digital per se, but then you're going to have others that are much more comfortable handling cash.
Yeah.
Right.
And the goal for us is to be as well-rounded and available to take advantage of any of those offerings, depending on where the property prefers to go. If they, really, I think it's a high risk to go full digital. So I do think you have to have both, and depends on the migration of the player to eventually get to digital, which I think will happen. It's going to be a little bit more of a marathon rather than a sprint.
Yeah. What do you think the time horizon is on? Is like beyond 5 years, you think, before we go full digital? I just never know with how fast people pick up technology anymore.
I think a lot of it's going to depend on the adoption rate.
Yeah.
If it's really super heavy, and they can obviously, handling cash comes at an expense.
Yeah, right.
So the quicker that becomes less and less, the easier it is for the respective operators. But I think it's probably 5 years or maybe a little bit more. Newer openings get a little bit easier as you go further down the road. Like even look at Resorts World, where they're heavily promoting the digital wallet.
So you can still use cash. So this is kind of like the term cashless, meaning that there's no cash in the machine, but they're doing like a hybrid of digital and cash, because like in Mexico at Caliente Casino, it's completely cashless, and you cannot put money in the machine. You literally have to put it on a card or your wallet, and there is literally no cash. So this is a dual. This is kind of a hybrid at.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know.
They're going to have the same cash in, coin, not coin in, but cash in Tito like you would expect.
Hope they have the same.
But then with the cashless option as well.
Well, see, this is good information.
There you go, buddy.
When you say cashless, you would assume that there's no cash, right?
That's ultimately what it means, but the day will come. That's what we're saying. When it's full cashless, there would be no cash. It would all be electronic. But to now, you're going to have cash in, cashless also.
If I'm asking this question, there's got to be at least other people thinking the
no
same.
doubt.
50% of people in the car right now going, dude, thanks. I was totally confused.
I didn't want to call and ask.
So you look after, so cashless is exciting, but not as exciting, in my opinion, as the game stuff. So you're looking after the slot side. What's like the latest exciting news from you guys in the game sport? Like what games are we maybe not paying attention to that we should be looking at?
We always have new themes coming out. So some of the newer products that I'm looking forward to seeing is we have not the most crazy name or anything, but like from a play mechanic side is our Super Dragon, Super Buffalo product. I'm looking forward to see what that does out there. Just more iterations of our Wicked Wheel going forward. There's those type of products that you'll see down the line in the future. Our steppers, we got a couple other products with some good unique hooks on it that we'll see if how well those do that are beyond the normal standard basic high denomination basic expectations I would say. So just we dabble in a lot of different categories. The whole our big mantra is really to be as original as possible with the content that we end up developing, right? And it's not everything. You have a proven hit-driven play mechanic. You do some iterations off of that, but really like to see a lot of original stuff. And then, we have had a pretty good success rate in terms of many of those, especially their flex cabinet, really sticking. So, to me, whatever I guess, it always seems to go the other direction because you don't know how something's going to do until it gets out.
That's me too. So Super Dragon's going to be horrible, but whatever he didn't mention is going to fly to the top.
Absolutely. There'll probably be 10 other games I'll get yelled at by people listening to this interview. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe you didn't call out my game.
Yeah, naturally.
You guys have owned the 9-line 3-reel video stepper for some time. And if you recall, last time we chatted, which we couldn't launch the podcast because we had some technical issues, but I called you guys out and I said, when are you going to make, even if it's on video, and I don't think you could do it on a stepper, but a multi-denom version of Black Diamond or Crystal Star? Because my issue is I'm always looking for the 25 cent because the cost to cover on a 27,
like $11 or still,
it's a decent amount, and you have to bet max to be able to hit the progressive, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And there's a lot of dollars around, but I'm not betting $27 a spin. I can tell you that for free. Exactly. So is that a possibility that you guys could create a multi-denom 3-reel stepper with 25 cent dollar? Or vice versa, 10 cent, 25 cent.
It's interesting because the success that we have is really, for the most part, on the on $1 or higher denomination. Yeah. So there are some quarters that are kind of floating around, depending obviously on the location, the jurisdictions. Right. But we will have connected multi-denom capability in one of our future platform releases. So
Sweet.
Called it. Nice. Yeah.
We're getting there. As far as, it's an evolution here. So
I get it. I'm just asking as a player because I love that
Well, it's
game.
a great way to not call you cheap, but at the same time tell you that you're in the rarity form by playing the quarter.
It's still an expensive bet, even at a quarter.
Well, if you're playing for keeps, yeah, for sure.
Only playing for keeps,
Max
brother.
bet's all we do. But I'm saying, it's interesting because we'll go, man, 11. It's like 11.25 or something. But you're going, all right, well, we'll get there. Just keep cranking. But
that's great.
But it is a great game.
As a player, and if you're listening and like that game, you're welcome.
Yeah. So exactly. What? So I find, maybe this is totally off base, but when I'm playing the games, what it feels like is your stepper product gives you a pretty good volatility ride, but your video keeps you kind of level. Is that fair? Like you guys are more moderate volatility in video, and is that by design, or am I just crazy, or what would you say?
I would say we have maybe a little crazy.
Yeah, that's okay. I could be fully great. That's okay.
It's a range across the board. There's certain products that we have are very much we call geared towards the entertainment player.
Right.
But I would say a little bit, a pretty good tranche of them are geared towards the more higher volatility.
Interesting. Yeah. Because it feels like when I play, and maybe it's just the setup, because naturally, when you attract a Shark Week, when you attract like the Vault, those are games maybe kind of a broader audience. So you dial more entertainment value and figure, well, hey, I don't want to get some new gambler on the game and then just rip their face off. Whereas when you do a different game, you go, well, these guys should know better. So they're playing this game like, am I thinking about that right? Or
it's tricky because obviously depending on where your theoretical hold is on the product, much of it plays into it. In today's world, especially with technology, you can play faster.
Yeah, right.
And that obviously goes into it depending on your playing behavior.
Sure, right.
So if you got that, and if it's a premium product, it tends to have more of I would say an aggressive hold on it.
Yeah, nice.
And you add all those variables in there, and you're going to have to come with a little bit of a wallet.
Yeah, right.
But our goal is, obviously, and this could be all the suppliers, is make sure you get a chance, if you're going to put $100 in a game, to get the experience of the product. And if you get a good little run on it, then obviously you take it from there. But you don't want to go through it and not experience the major components of a game, or else it's nothing worse than throwing, sitting there throwing in a $100 bill, and then all of a sudden, you don't get anything other than a couple of minuscule line pays and say, wow, that was great.
Well,
what a hell of a game.
Well, it'll kill a game, right? Because I laugh because like Landon and I, we know better. Like we're in the biz just like you, and so we'll play games and we might not hit a bonus, and we should know we're just in a down part of the cycle. But me, at least, I go, that game's horrible. I will not play the game. And it may very well be that you step on next and you hit the bonus that I didn't get, and now you think it's the best game ever. But it really will. So like if there's not at least a little bit of a teaser to go, hey, I hit the bonus at least one time, you may never get that player back.
feel like that's with any entertainment. If you ride a roller coaster and throw up on it, you're not going to be super stoked on that roller coaster, are you?
Or the person that's right in front of you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, depending on what probably right behind you, if you get it flies over your head. But yeah, no doubt, you don't want that.
You guys have dominated. I love Everi games, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
It was interesting to see you guys like step in the video space more and put a little more focus on video, in my opinion, from the stepper. And you guys did a really good job on your new video product. You guys did a great job with your tournament banks and your video stepper. What's next for you guys? I mean, I haven't seen a lot of companies dominate those three categories well. I mean, everybody tries to get in steppers. They kind of pull back. They're either good at video. I mean, it's pretty cool to see you guys do all three of those categories: tournament, stepper, video, and do well in all three. So the only one I haven't seen you in is like the behemoth space.
And we take some of our successful themes, notably some of our high denomination stuff, and port it over to video in our what we call our Texan cabinet. So it's out there and has been out there for quite a few years. But you know, I appreciate hearing the word dominate. I'm a little bit more cautiously optimistic. You know, it's a journey. We've definitely come a long way over the last few years. I mean, when I first joined the company pretty close to 5 years ago, we were maybe a 3 or 4% ship share, and to, you know, around 2.5 times it. You know, through the course sounds great when you put it on a piece of paper and say this is what your goal is, but then when you really start to realize that we're there, it does take a lot of the different categories in order to get there. So, and on our side of it, you know, the mechanical side has been really good for quite a few years in the high denomination space. Our video side was definitely a work in progress when I first got here. So between new hardware and just pretty cool gameplay hooks, we ended up finally gaining some pretty good traction. And you know, and obviously in the toughest space that everybody always goes after in the premium category is, you know, you're only as good as you are at the moment.
Your last 30, 90 days.
Exactly. And then to continue on that trajectory, I mean, we've been fortunate enough to have some really meaningful growth over the last couple of years. You know, but, you know, what keeps me up at night is making sure that we do everything we possibly can to sustain it. So hitting those respective areas the way we have, they all didn't happen at once. And ironically, in the premium video category, which to me is the hardest of the hard, with the likes Class of, you know, I'll give kudos to the, you know, the Lightning Links and the Dragon Links and the Wizard of Oz's and Wheel of Fortunes and Monopolies and everything. Everybody's throwing their best and brightest at it. And to be able to just absolutely, you know, we've more than doubled ourselves in terms of footprint over the last couple of years is really, really difficult to do. So incredibly proud of that. And actually, to better that before our standard video product. Usually kind of goes the other way around. You figure, you know, a little bit of what is life on the video product side of it. And then you get a pretty unique hook with, you know, whether it's a premium third-party license or whatnot that gets you into that next category. We did it a little bit in reverse, in my opinion. And so that was pleasing.
Is that growth doubling your footprint, which is a huge achievement?
Ship share,
Does that...
In the premium side, though, not our overall.
Okay, so I was going to ask you,
even still,
Class 2, is that a part of that? Because you guys also did, you've had a pretty big growth in Class 2.
When we say premium, what I think of premium, I mean, we have a specific company defined premium that our CFO would be more than happy to walk anybody through. You know, and to me, it's
was that an early call out?
Maybe.
Could be. You'd be pretty good on this. But I mean, for me, you know, it's you know, our E5527 cabinet, which only is available in a premium. It's a not for sale particular cabinet. That obviously any of our wide area progressive products. You know, I wouldn't say our licensed brands, because we do have licensed brands that we sell as well.
I was going to ask you about those in a minute.
So you know, just to me, it's you know, if we have a mechanical wheel on it on the top box, that's definitely premium. those particular categories, right?
Right.
That you walk in, the merchandising is much more elaborate than on a standard for sale offering.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm interested because it seems like, and I don't know if this is fair just to say the last couple of years, I've noticed it more from you guys the last couple of years. You have been in these kind of branded, like you did. Shark Week was probably, I don't know if it was your most notable, but it was definitely a big push. And then you have like The Mask, you have Little Shop of Horrors, right? So there's a bunch of different brands. How did, like, is that, obviously it's a conscious effort that you're doing to get some of these maybe notable, but I'm assuming under the radar brands that people might recognize, but probably don't cost you an arm and a leg to go secure?
That's a nice way.
Yeah,
You know,
I
that's
mean,
the right way to
listen, I
describe
mean,
it.
if you want to have
we
Michael
just-
Jackson, you can have it, but it's expensive, right? Let's be honest.
You know, you gotta,
or James Bond or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're gonna get into that level, I would say, I mean, I'm pretty stringent on when we bring a license in house. You really have to have a some sort of game enablement, play mechanic of some sort that augments a license versus what I'll call brand slapping.
Right.
And if there's something there and there's a passion from the designers to want to go out and secure the rights of a third-party brand and it makes sense, then I'm all for it. Obviously, we tend to steer towards not the highest profiles because, quite frankly, they're super expensive.
Yeah.
And if we're small, we're not like the big three hey, they could take many guesses and they get one right and they get a half dozen of them wrong, then that's fine. For us, we got to be much more prudent on what we go after and selective and make sure that it makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you, and I always wonder, like, what would the gap be? So, like, if you just, and I don't want to pick on Shark Week, I just know it, but, like, if you define that as, like, and I don't know how many tiers there are, but let's say that's not the top tier. And yet, I bet everybody in the U.S., at least, has heard of and knows what Shark Week is, right? And sharks by themselves are easy to identify. So I'm just curious, like, I wonder what would the gap even be? Like, is it really worth it to go to tier one? Like, if you're saying, hey, Shark Week is, let's just call it a B. I don't know how you rank these things. But then you say, and an A would have been, I don't know, what?
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Well, Wheel of Fortune, I think, is different because it starts as a game, right? So to me, like, Britney Spears will pick on her, and right now we're all about hashtag free Britney, but, like, she's out there, and you go, just no, let's get her free, man. No one should live like that. Anyway, but, like, her probably is a top-tier brand, right? I'm assuming. And so you say, would she drive at that much more play than Shark Week? I wonder. And then would it be worth it to spend X amount more? I don't know. These are probably the decisions you have to make. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's you look at it as, okay, is it brand recognition now and does it continue along to the future? Because if you're going to jump in with a particular brand, you really want to have, let's call it a 5-year relationship with them and continue to build on the brand and make it a win-win rather than let's do one game and then be done with it and call it a day, right? So, I mean, for me, my intentions are always, how do we get something that can be a long-term partner? And, much easier said than done. So with the celebrities and things of that nature, I mean, there's a lot of things you got to watch out for.
Sure.
Obviously, if you get one and something happens with them that's detrimental towards a positive interpretation, then that becomes a challenge in its own right, especially in today's day and age where it seems to be more celebrities get in trouble than otherwise, or at least people do so much digging on them, they try to find anything on them. But, I mean, just really getting back to your question, it could be at any of the ranges of if, the game shows are the easiest to kind of select because it kind of lends itself.
Yeah, right.
But I would also suggest that some non-game shows, I mean, I'll throw out a Wizard of Oz, which is completely not, has been one of the most successful brands that this industry's seen for years and years and years, that lends itself, that not to anything but a game show or any type of gaming. So,
fair point. Have you, as part of these, do you get to ever meet like some of the people? Like, did you get to meet Willie Nelson or any of the, like, I don't know who else, the Mr. Miyagi or anybody from these brand deals when you're doing them, or is it all just kind of lawyers and back rooms?
It depends on some of the, the talent and when you get these certain brands where, for example, Casablanca, obviously we weren't going to, get anybody in there. However, I will tell you, my best celebrity experience was really sitting down. It was interesting. We got Clint Eastwood when I was with
You got to meet
WMS.
Clint Eastwood?
And literally, I had to explain to him what a multi-coin, multi-line 5x3 product was on a slide deck. And I'm like, this is absolutely surreal. We went to his
dirty
office.
Harry.
Yeah.
Staring at me.
Yeah. I'm like, this guy's probably going to rip my head off if he doesn't like the way I explain this. So we're sitting, a few of us were in his office, and I'm walking him through the concept of a slot machine and what we're going to do and how we have a unique idea with it, et cetera. And I just couldn't get out of my mind, like, holy cow, I'm like sitting there talking to Clint Eastwood.
Exactly.
And wondering how many times I repeated the same sentence.
Right.
I'm like, all right, I just want to get through this thing and get the heck
Every
out
slide,
of here.
do you feel lucky?
Let's just move on.
Do you feel lucky? That's what I was just looking up on their lap.
Yeah.
Do you feel lucky? Do ya?
Colt 45, most powerful gun known to man.
So that one was cool. That was by far, and I don't get to do that as much as our game developers really get to go and kick the tires on it. And I mean, so, you know, there's some pretty great stories.
Yeah, Eastwood's pretty fun. Well, I'm laughing. That's because if I'm game dev where there are no rules, I'd probably just be sitting back going, hey, can I go hit a little devil's lettuce with Willie Nelson? Would be like an epic story as you're creating the game. But obviously, the business guys can't do that. But that'd be interesting. But Clint Eastwood's fascinating, right?
Oh.
But I have the horrible affliction, or if I'm in that room, I don't know if maybe I'd be nervous, but I would definitely manifest my nervous energy by just quoting lines of their own movies. Like, I would just be the guy in the room going, well, do you feel lucky, right? Or like, sitting there going, if you're going to kill a man, make sure he's dead, right? And then pulling his neck down like in, what's it called, Hang 'em High or whatever. But you're just like, man, like how wild would that be just to meet some of these guys?
I would be worried about quoting them wrong and then have them say, hey, look, idiot,
like,
that is not the way to like.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I'm nervous, man. You're Clint Eastwood. What do you want me to say?
So, hold on real quick. I'm going to pause this. We can just take a break. Hey, guys. We just took a break because my dog, he found a squeaky toy. So I had to take a knife to the squeaky toy as Dean just watched, and he said,
Little monkey stabbing.
It was well worth the wait.
The price of admission.
Well, this is the joy of having a studio in your studio apartment.
This is the nice part about not doing it live.
Yes.
Because now you can stop, edit that out, this whole bullshit.
Well, I'm not editing this out.
Well, fair enough.
We're going to keep this part in.
Nice. Okay.
Wonderful.
Monkey stabbing.
And just so we're aware, because I know I'm going to get all these dumb haters out there with the question you asked me on Grateful Dead. So Go to Heaven was the album.
Okay. You've been nervous about
Fire
that this
on the
whole time?
Mountain.
Fire on the Mountain. There you
Fire on the
go.
Mountain's a great
I
song.
just know that I'm going to get 45 text
you're gonna
messages.
you're gonna get.
You
And
said
so
Go to
now
Heaven.
we're
I'm like, I don't know. That's a deep catalog. I don't know that one. But
200 albums. Yeah,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know. I could have made
Oh,
something
man.
up like Bricks on Fire and be like, oh, that sounds good.
I would have been like, well, it's not
That's
one I've heard
probably
of.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the interview.
Little
Monkey's
ripple.
been killed. I settled the Grateful Dead argument. And now I'm going to ask Dean what he's most excited about in the gaming industry. It doesn't have to be anything with Everi Holdings or anything.
Yeah, just in
there.
general.
Just like, what are you excited about that's new and up and coming in our space?
I mean, the simple answer for me is that it's always dynamic.
Right.
Things are always changing. You don't know exactly when and where and who's going to, be on the front end of, that killer application, if you will.
Yeah.
Whether from a cabinet perspective or more so from a play mechanic.
Yeah, like a
Right.
math
It's really
model or
cool,
something.
good
Yeah.
hook. But to me, it's always evolving kind of from that. Probably an easy answer is when does, for me on a competitive skill kind of side of it, do you get in a situation where it could be meaningful enough for the operators from I think more competitive, the skill folks are trying
Right.
and doing their best and they're bringing in new players, great. I mean, that's one way to merchandise that. But for me personally, what I'm excited to see is I'd like to see when that lounge competitive experience. So if you're sitting there and whether you're watching a game or not, and there's some, on your device of choice where you could go, not so much head to head, but within a quorum and start betting up on some certain event or some game of some sort that goes directly, whether it's at the respective place or even just more wider spread, more wide area with it, that I think will be pretty cool and at some point evolve to that.
So you're talking sports betting?
Nope. I was talking any type of, sports betting is trying to, like, they're doing it on all these different prop bets and things of that nature. I'm thinking sitting in a lounge, and if I'm playing
on your phone,
some sort of competitive game, some skill thing, whether it's, I don't know, you could call it shooting a basket and within a minute, something, if you're sitting there racing and you're literally wagering on something and, you're going toe to toe with people either that are within the same room or just across in a big giant network and really wagering for stuff. I think there's going to be some element of that
random prop bets. Like, we'll be sitting in a room and I bet with Mike, like, the next person to walk in the bar will be a lady. Like, whatever.
Could be whatever.
That would be fascinating.
Just some competitive / collaborative, or maybe it's teams. Maybe it's one location against another location. And, if you got, your top 5 scores of something that you're competing against. And
so challenge-based prop bets driven through an app, essentially.
I like the idea of anybody just shooting the shit like this and betting on stuff. So I'm in. I don't know what it is.
But there's a bunch of IP that's been filed across all that. There's things that they're really kind of way out there that I think. At some point in time, when the demographic kind of raises up a little bit and they get just much more comfortable with dealing with technology, not just from, hey, I'm going to play my slot game on a phone, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to do something different.
I can't wait till the day where that you can take the odds that the books have. Yeah. And so say like Mike wants to bet on the Lakers, whatever it is, whatever your team is, the Sharks against Golden Knights, whatever. And then you and I can place a bet against each other, but I still get the odds that the books would have placed. So like it would pay, right? So if it was
so now I'm betting you. So like if the Knights are, let's say, minus 200, I'm betting that. You're getting the odds.
Correct.
Taking the other team. So
right, but then if you win, you have to pay me the double odds, or if I lose, then I got to pay you whatever, like $40 out of your 100 or whatever the odd change is.
So it's not just straight up. You're talking and then about like peer-to-peer with like points.
And then they would take like a small percentage on either side. So you could literally bet with you, because it all happens all the time, right? You like, sometimes some of my friends that are like crazy sports bettors, I'm like, who are you taking tonight? And they're like, blah, blah, blah. And I lived in California, and I'm like, well, I wanted to bet on the other team, but now I can't ask you because I don't want to bet against you, right? But now it'd be like, hey, I'll take that all day long, buddy.
Oh, I see, because you don't agree. I got it.
You got.
So if you're sitting and watching a game and you're midway through the fourth quarter, and let's say, because I have a real life experience that happened to me, and my friend will end up texting me about this because I got absolutely scorched. So we bet $20, or no, we bet $10. Literally, it was that Miami was going to beat Dallas, and I think Dallas was up by like 10 points. So he picked, I can't remember if I think I picked Dallas, he picked Miami. Right. Dallas ended up winning. I didn't have a $10 bill, so I shoved it in a poker machine. And I said, we'll just go partners on this. And sure as heck, I hit a royal.
Oh, nice.
And so my $10 that I could have paid him cost me $500 because I didn't have $10 because I hit a royal because I only had a $20 bill.
Your friend's like, hey, bud, this is the best winning football bet I've ever had. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about $10 in video poker. That's like 10 hands.
Well, you had 20 going in, but you figured.
No, I didn't have a $10 bill. I just had a 20. And I asked, I go, do you have change? Do you have a 10? He goes, no, I don't. No. And then I go, all right, I'm just going to throw it in a poker machine. And then, hey, if we get anything, we'll just split it. And then I hit a royal like 5 hands later. So that $10, because either A, I didn't have $10, or B, he did not have $10 to give me. Cost me $500 because I'd have played anyway.
Place a bet, let me know.
I was gonna say that's what you get for betting on strange increments, right? Like if you don't have Venmo now, you got to just go with the bills you got.
The books out here are going to start paying people in tickets for the slot machines. It's like, you won. Here's a
Tito. Go work that out. Yeah.
By the way, that probably counts as my I wouldn't say cool gambling story, because I was like really pissed off at it. I'm like, come on. I go, can I give you $200? He's like, no way in hell.
Man,
literally.
That's the deal. 50-50 is the deal.
And
and you take the taxable.
Yeah. If you would have won it like before you cleared the first 10, I'd be like, no, the 1,000's mine. Your 10 was on the back half. You didn't get shit. I'll give you $10 back.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was unfortunately clear that we were in it evenly for the 20, and
that's right.
It happens.
The
Glad I wasn't playing a dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
You and I playing teams lately have gotten crushed.
We've been getting kicked in the face for sure. We're due.
Yeah. We are due.
Yeah, we got to get going. Well, usually, so it's funny. We go on a walk over the floor every time we're going, especially in SoCal if we're out there. And first thing we're looking for, your game at a good, what we perceive to be a good level of progressive, right? So we're like, oh, that lower level is at $600. We can hit that, right? So then we just get immediately sucked.
You can hit the lower level you can hit, but you know what sucks about their games? Sorry, I'm not saying they suck. I love your games, but
yeah, we've lost it in 1-11.
You can, even on like a 25-cent progressive and you see the top award at 20,000, you know it's getting close, but not on your games because some schmo before us could have been playing at like
two coin.
Yeah, then, two-coin bet and hit that top award but not paid it, so it changes the volatility of the math, right? And now I got to go through a whole nother cycle again.
Yeah.
So it could be sitting 20, but I could be another 400,000 spins away from that thing popping.
You know, it's I'd like to find the person on 88 Fortunes that's hit the top or right. Everybody plays for the major, right? Right. And it's funny when you go like, for me, I'm a big time progressive shopper, and you know, it might lend itself into the second gambling story. But like, you know, if anything, $11.99 and under before you clip a W2. So the major, I think, resets at 800. So if it's in the 1100s, obviously, like I'm completely magnetized to the game.
You're in on that.
I will throw whatever I have. I shouldn't say whatever my ATM limit is, and all that other stuff. Like I will go at it appropriately hard because it's going to hit.
Ready to pop.
Yeah, right? And literally, I was meeting a group of friends for dinner, and we were at Green Valley Ranch, and I'll be there in a few minutes. And so all of a sudden, go to the ATM, go pull it out. I'm like, oh my God, this thing's like at a 1192. I'm like, all right, I got this thing. I'm going to sit there.
Was it quarter stepper?
No, it's 88 Fortunes.
88 Fortunes, yeah. Okay.
Penny video. And I played this thing, and it kind of, I think it got up to like 1198 before I ran out of money. Obviously didn't hit anything. Man. I walk into this dinner, people are looking at me like two things. Number one, what happened to you? And two, why are you so pissed? And I'm like, they're like, something happened because I just saw you 5 minutes ago.
You were happy.
And literally, like, you're like running to the bathroom or something, and then all of a sudden, you're gone for like 15 minutes, and you're just like really angry. And oh man, I just got absolutely crucified. And then I'm like, all right, I'll just go eat dinner. Hopefully nobody's on the bank. I'll go back and go play it again. And then it was like 12:02, and I'm like, no way, because I'll hit the thing, get a W2, take 35% off of whatever you got, and all for what? Because I didn't hit it when I was there before, right? So
you left a few spins early. Yeah,
that's degenerate progressive shopping at its best.
This is I have to say this story because this is right in your alley. I was progressive shopping, as you say, and I was playing Lightning Link, and I saw the $1,000 where it caps at 1,000. Yeah. And I always like to give those a go, so I put 100 in, playing. Like, it's giving me a good feedback, but playing. Run out of cash. I'm like, there's no way this thing's gonna hit. So I literally go to the ATM. This casino was dead, yo. I went to the ATM. I was playing $5 a spin. I went to the ATM, got another 100 out because I'm like, I'm gonna pop this. I went over, and this lady had just sat down, and I'm like, she put $20 in. I go, this won't last long. Ding, ding, ding. Boom. She hits the 1,000, playing 25 cents. I go, oh my gosh. I literally, I told her, I was like, I just got up to, she's like, I hit the 1,000. I was only playing 25 cents. I go, I just wanted to grab this little lady and throw her off the machine.
Oh, man.
But I didn't. I should have.
Keep the card in or something. Be like, I'll be right back.
I think my card was still in it. I was literally 2 seconds.
Oh, that's even worse.
That would frustrate me.
I was pretty upset. Yeah,
that's not cool.
And the whole bank was empty.
Well, everybody sits at the 1,000 though. Like if you know anything
plays
about the
25
game,
cents.
well, not about the 25 cents, but you know that's the machine that's
Anyways, if you're listening, lady, and I know you're not, but if you are,
well, it's the problem is
half.
there might be ladies listening to this that have won the 1,000, but they're never going to know that they stole your machine. So like there's the first half of that story they're not going to know. They're just going to go, wait a minute, is it me? I won 1,000 on Lightning Link.
Isn't it just amazing though when you really, we talk about it's a single isolated experience,
Right.
but there is this collaborative thing, and usually you kind of root for people for most of the time to do well. But if you're not doing well
and
everyone else is, I feel really bad for saying, look, I just want my fair share, right?
Yeah,
Just
right.
give me a little bit of a run, right?
Yeah.
Instead, it's like. You want
wanna
to cause,
be,
it's like, cause then it's like bad karma and everything else to
both
wish
of
ill will on. Yeah.
right.
Wish you're like, especially if it's somebody if their betting behaviors, like if they sit there, let me give you a prime example, hitting a bonus 4 of a kind on a double bonus. And they sit there and clip the aces and a kicker, and they let it slowly, so this thing's racking up for 14 minutes and you're like, get the thing and then cash out and then leave the hand there and not play it off. It's like the two things that drive me absolutely nuts about
Rack your coins.
player behavior.
Yeah.
It's like rack them, play it again, so I don't have to
so many
stare at
things we
it.
could say about this. So you know what
What's
else
your
I
pet
oh
peeve?
my
Go into
gosh.
it. Give me one.
What I hate is when we want to play teams.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I want in. All of a sudden you have 14 people in and you hit like a taxable. It's whatever, 2,000. And then you got to divide it between 50 people. I've had people sit there and be like, oh, I don't have 100, but I want to play. And it's like, so
It's like, no.
on my birthday at Saquon, we had, and he's going to listen to this, and I'm not going to name the name, but I love the guy. And we had everybody in, and he's like, I want to be in. I didn't see him, and so I took everybody's cash. We were playing, and we hit 4 aces with a kicker. It was like 2 Gs on triple double. And then he came up and we were getting paid. It was and we're getting paid. It's a call attendance situation. He walks up, he's like, oh, I was just getting the money. And it was like, So I felt bad. I love this guy. And I did believe that he would have been in and we were playing. So I split it 4 ways instead of 3. But it's a pet peeve of mine. You got to be in and you got to have cash and you got to be there.
Yeah.
If you run out of cash and you're not in on the next round, you're not privy to that next taxable if you get it. So I probably went a little too deep into that. But
That's okay. That's okay. As long as you didn't call him out specifically. And
No,
it sounds
I
like
love
he's
this guy.
happy with
Yeah, he's a good
his
dude.
1/4 jackpot win there. So, all good. So what is where's your ceiling on teams? Because you also said too many on the team makes it.
I honestly think 3 is max.
is the deal?
3 is
3,
max, because it's 3's max.
That's it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I think you go any higher than that, and it's like the law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're doing like $100 spins
Yeah, if it's
where
a
the
big-
payments are
Yeah.
like 20, 30, 40 Gs.
Oh,
which
that's
can
different.
happen.
Yeah,
That's
right.
different.
Yeah.
Max is 5 there.
That's sharing. That's sharing
Add
lottery.
2 more guys.
Yeah.
That's sharing lottery tickets, right?
Right,
That's that kind of mindset in there. But if you're playing anything that's got, if it's $5 or $25 max bet, you don't want more than a couple of people.
My favorite's still Joe Whitman.
Yeah.
We're playing teams. We had like 5 guys.
man.
He's just.
We were
I
having.
hate
We had a
even
couple.
calling him
We
out,
had
but
a
he's
couple
5
pops.
sheets
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
win.
yeah.
It's 2 in. He comes up because we let everybody spin.
Well, we had just won a taxable, so we had just won 8,000. So we're all feeling pretty good. And then we went to the next machine. So we won $8,000 video, like aces with a kicker or something.
My mom's gonna think I'm a degenerate, but continue.
She'll be all right.
knows.
She's made it this far. So then we go to Lightning Link, and it's high limit. So, but we're playing like minimum on a dime or something. So we're betting $10 a spin. Well, it's his turn. So we're doing teams. Like if you spin and you win, you spin again. If not, next guy. So his turn comes up. He just, boom, we're proud of him. Max bet. $125 spin. We're like, ooh.
$125.
So no one really noticed it. No one noticed the first
that's
one.
deep.
And then the second one, Rodney's sitting there, and Sam Manuel shot him out. And so he
Yeah, we have like $500 in this machine. So
and so he bets like
$120.
20% of the stake, and we're thinking, all right, well. Then he bets the second one, and Rodney goes, bro, you just bet max. And then sure enough, he locks it into the bonus, and we kick $9,000. So we're like, how about it, right? That worked out well. But
We're
you're
like,
just
you
oh, man. Yeah, it's like, Joe, I hate to say it, but I love you, buddy. Yeah, exactly. It was so good.
Oh, all right, man. This is the last question, bud. We kind of took that gambling story
Well,
to a
that's
new,
what we do. We
a
gamble.
new epic.
All All right, so fun. What we always like to do, the challenge and the call out. So who would you like to see us interview in a future episode?
I think a really good person to have on here that's got a ton of great stories is a gentleman by the name of Oren Edidin.
Oh, yeah, Oren.
He used to be our president at WMS.
Yep.
And he's just been through just a ton.
Yeah, right.
And I think he would be just a great personality, just a ton of charisma. Just
Yeah, I was going to say, he's a good
perfect person to
storyteller,
have
too.
on
I've
there.
met him a few times, mostly through Colleen, who works with Brooks now over at Inspire, but she was at WMS, one of the old crew members over there. And so she introduced me to him, and he was great. He's got a good personality. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you jumping on the podcast.
Yeah, driving
Round
over
2,
here, taking the time. Yeah,
dealing with dogs barking, monkeys growling. Like, you got to do it.
staring at the Gummy Bear T-shirt. All good. Good to keep focus. Yeah.
I do want to say, congratulations on this. I think it's great. I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
a must listen. Keep up the great work. It's an honor and a privilege, to be a guest on your show.
Thanks,
I
man.
can thank
Yeah, we
you both
appreciate it.
enough, and it's awesome. So,
Nice.
once
Keep it up.
again,
I'll have to cut the camera before I get emotional.
I know,
I
I'm
hear
actually
stuff like that.
crying
It hits you in the
a little bit.
feels a little, right? So,
feels.
well, we appreciate you. Thank you for that. The kind words, and thanks for your time. And we're looking forward to just keep on rocking, man.
all right, you got it.
All right. We'll
Appreciate
see
it.
you tonight at the opening.
old RW.
You got it.
Yeah. Rock and roll.
Be good. Be well.
Yep.
I'm going to
Thanks
wear this.
again.
You should. They might not let you in.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Dean.
Cheers.
All right,
Appreciate it.
take care.